just listening to that makes it more freeing.
You're going to hear it over and over again on this podcast.
And I think that's the number one thing I run into with working with schools is I'm talking to, teachers where...
Yeah, I think that, oh man, I don't know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Flip
Side?
This is going great.
Is it called Flip Side?
Of the Flip Side.
There it is.
Podcast, where we break down and challenge different perspectives and hot topics in education. It's season 3, and as you guys know, season 3 is just slightly different. It's called Ask Anything. And so you've joined us and you've seen behind the scenes at nationals. You've been able to get insight from all of those amazing guests, but now
all the things.
We're on site. So and I'm losing my voice.
You are. I was going to say that.
Because we are on site
I know.
at a Get Your Teach On mini conference. Well, we've done a lot of things here over the past couple of months. We've had nationals. We've had Get Your Virtual Teach On.
Oh, we did.
We've hosted minis in districts across the nation. And so what we've done is we've collected all of your questions, whether you've been at a workshop of ours, online, whether you're a podcast subscriber. And now we're answering all of your questions.
Yeah.
So y'all ready to do it?
I'm ready to do it.
Okay, well, today we have another guest with us here at our mini conference. She's one of our amazing presenters and part of our Get Your Teach On content team. So everybody welcome back to the Flip Side podcast, the Amelia Capotosta.
Hello, I'm excited to be back. This is great.
Here in California, if only they could see the mountains that were behind us. That's
The weather.
and the weather.
And the palm trees.
This is kind of cool, though, to be out of the studio for most of this season because it really allows us to highlight a lot of the different things that we're doing at Gear Teach On, how we're serving different schools, serving different districts, but we also get to hear from really incredible people. So, are we ready to dive into this episode?
Let's do it.
Let's do it before my voice,
Goes away.
Okay, so we're going to start, Amelia, you're no stranger to the Flip Side podcast. Nope. We're going to start with a little bit of fun first, and then we're going to dive in with all of the questions that the viewers or the attendees would like to ask you. So you're in the hot seat today.
Ooh,
all right, but before we do that, we're going to do little this or that teacher edition.
Okay.
So
These are
gonna
fun.
These are going to be fun. These are going to be easy.
Yeah.
But let's see what you prefer. Okay, now we're not judging your answers here. But
And she has no clue.
She has no clue what's happening.
She's like, what is happening?
I have no idea. These
So
are
wait,
pretty controversial.
are you ready to give her
Yeah.
the first one?
Oh, I'm getting the first. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
am. Okay. Yeah, I am. That's what it says. Post-it notes or highlighters?
Oh, I'm going to have to go Post-it notes. That is I feel like I could not. Highlighters I can think of substitutes for, but
That's true.
Good. And also a little snobby about Post-it notes, specific kinds.
Yep.
Sizes. I'm going to go Post-it notes.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can read Amelia's brain because I know her and her teaching style so well at this
Trying to
point
figure
after
it out.
so many
You should
years
see if you can
together.
guess ahead of time if you're right.
I am trying to guess ahead of time. Okay. Next one is, this one's going to be tricky for you. Organizing small group binders, which, by the way, if you miss virtual conference,
Yes.
her small group binders are
Amazing.
like everything.
Yeah.
Or labeling student book bins because you love both.
Oh,
I don't even know.
Okay. I'm going to go with small group binders because I can think of the fact that book bins, when I had different types of seating or switching classes, book bins wouldn't always work management wise. So I feel like I could come up with other solutions for book bins. I want my students to have books, but I could put books in their hands other ways. So I need the small group binders.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're like, I really want to know what she's talking small groups, we're going to get into all the small group things because that's shocker. That's what the majority of your questions are about that people had.
Shocker.
Okay. All right. Next one.
All right, next one. Here it is. Pump up playlist or quiet time?
Oh, pump up playlist.
I knew it.
I knew it. Same.
There is nothing quiet about Amelia Capotosta. Plus, she's
Yeah.
got mom of 3
Finished.
boys, so she doesn't even know what quiet
My
means.
life is like a background
It's
noise
always a
on pump up
pump-up
playlist.
playlist.
Yes.
I think you would actually freak out with
I
quiet
would.
time.
Silent is
I
very
wanna
Your
see
quiet.
what
quiet time
would
is the
happen.
gym time.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably not quiet because she's probably got something to play.
Oh yeah, I do. But it's like my me quiet time.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. I already know the answer to this one. Instant results or slow, steady progress you can track.
Slow, steady progress you can track. I get so frustrated with districts that are like, let's just jump right in and instantly ask for instant gratification or hope that there's going to be a change right away. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Change happens over time.
Exactly. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. So now that we've had a little bit of fun, we've warmed up. Everybody wants to know all things, primarily small groups. So we're going to dive into some of those questions. So we're going to start with that. We're going to start with small groups. Obviously, that is like your bread and butter. That is your specialty. First of all, what grade levels? Because I know you've been on the podcast before, but just in case they're tuning in for the first time, what grade levels have you taught and experimented and experienced small groups?
And I love saying this because I feel like for whatever reason, small groups stop in 5th or 6th grade. Like, I don't know why that's a thing, but it doesn't need to be a thing. So I've taught 8th grade and done small groups. I've taught 6th grade and done small groups.
Same, yep.
I've been a classroom teacher in 4th grade and 3rd grade, and then I've been a pre-K through 5th grade literacy coach where I've helped them implement small groups in all of those grades as well.
So she's got lots of perspectives that she's going to bring to the table when it comes to small groups. All right, let's dive into the first question that the viewers or that an attendee has asked.
All right. So the first question, Amelia, is I want to run small groups, but I feel like I can never get to all of them. Where do I start?
I love this. And see, I'm a big firm believer in quality over quantity. I don't like the concept of every student every day. I don't even think realistically you can see every student every other day. I think you have to prioritize the students who need you in the moment. And I think that that is also flexible and fluid because some students are going to need you more weeks than others. So I think what I always recommend when it comes to how do I fit it all in, start with trying to see 2 groups a day, whatever that looks like in your block, whether that's 10 minutes and 15 or 15 and 15, doesn't have to be an even break. And then one group should be like your scheduled group. You know you're meeting with this group, right? So that schedules in quality time with students at least once or twice a week. And then your second group is your fluid group, right? So now you know that second group, based on what we did yesterday, the day before, last week, I can pull those students to enrich, remediate, kind of reteach, whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
But definitely aim for quality over quantity. Don't try. I think that's where a lot of the frazzle from those questions come, is people feel like they have to see their students every day.
Yeah.
And you don't. And use your people. I know not everyone has people.
Yeah.
But if you have people, gosh, align your schedule with your interventionist, align your schedule with your, we were lucky a couple of years I had a Title I tutor in our school. So I would make sure my small group time was when my Title I tutor could be in my room offering support. So now there's 3 small groups being pulled.
Yeah.
You know, kids are being seen more often.
Yeah, I think that, oh man, I don't know, just listening to that makes it more freeing.
Yes.
And it's okay that I don't, because I think a lot of us do think I got to see group 1, group 2, whatever it is during the week, but this is sustainable and focusing on that. And my question was going to be, how do you prioritize, like, who do you need to see?
And that's what kind of leads into mine too, is we've got to get out, or we've got to get from behind this old school mentality of what small groups were.
Yes.
And now that we know better, do better.
Yeah.
And really that lends
And that's
itself to
okay.
more flexibility with
It really does.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with giving yourself permission to, if I pull this group and I start a small group lesson and they just fly with it,
Yeah.
I'm not tied to a timer. Let them go.
Right,
Like,
they're good.
Let them go.
I have pulled small groups that have been literally a minute and a half.
Yes.
That's a small group.
Yeah.
If I say, okay, I just need to target this, and if you're
Check
that
in with 'em.
explicit, then you can say, I can target this. I can
Right.
do that in a minute and a half. They've got it. They're ready to go back. So again, I think that we got so caught up in, this mentality of every group
10
has
minutes.
to be 15 minutes.
Yep.
and
Don't
they've
be a
gotta do
slave
15
to the timer.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking
Yeah.
about. all of
And
us.
I like you said every group. One thing I think I was talking to a teacher and she was like, it was a revelation when you said this. If you have a 30-minute block for small groups, it does not need to be 15-15.
Right.
It can be 10 and 20.
Yeah.
It can be, I've been known for, at 5 minutes, I'm going to pull this group that needs some phonics instruction.
Yep.
We are going to do a 5-minute phonics, some really, we're going to do some phonological awareness, some phonics, and I'm going to send them back to do something. And then I'm going to pull a group for 15 minutes for some fluency, and then another group for 10 minutes for some comprehension, right? I'm going to be able to be fluid with that and just break it up, make it work for you.
Because so many times, too, and this might be, if you're struggling with small groups, this might be something to reflect on. We're trying to teach too much during small group time.
Yeah.
That's where that target comes into place, that very narrow focus. And we're saying, okay, where are they with this skill? And how can I help them within that 5 minutes?
Right.
How can I help them within that 7 minutes? And that's where that flexibility comes from, for sure. Okay. So another question from a viewer. This next one, it's a little bit spicy.
I like it. We
Just
love a good spicy. We love a spicy comment.
Spicy.
We love to keep it spicy on the flip side.
Sriracha.
What do I do if Wade has these words that he just likes to throw? If you're just catching on,
I did hear you say this today.
he will just throw in these words randomly. I know what he's talking about. You guys, so just look for
D, do you
Wade's
know what I'm
little
talking about?
secret words.
Sriracha? Do you know?
Look
Okay.
for his little
Okay.
secret words,
This
you
one.
guys. Okay. But what do I do if my admin wants to see all kids in groups? But I know some students might not need that every day. They want to see the same groups. They want to see your lions, your tigers, your bears. Oh my.
Oh my.
And they want to see those groups being pulled consistently.
I would say what I would do is number one, I get it. Sometimes you have to abide by admin, tick the boxes. Like I totally get that. What I would do in those scenarios, those students who you know that you are going to be really pulling to enrich and extend, what they're so great about, and part of enrichment also can be autonomy. So take those students, and to be able to get more quality time with students who need you and them as well, pull them for 5 minutes and get them started. Like get them that enrichment and then set them off for some autonomy. They can be enriched and continue independently while you pull another small group.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. But also I think if you have data to support what you're doing and you can show your admin, hey,
helps a lot.
These are the,
Yes.
and that to me, I think is
Got to be results driven.
Yes.
You're going to hear it over and over
Yes.
again on this podcast.
And I think that's the number one thing I run into with working with schools, them talking to, teachers where, how do I know who to pull? Well, if you shouldn't be you should never be pulling randomly.
Yeah.
It should be informally or formally data-based. And if you don't have a pulse on the data, you need to start gathering some data points. And then that can help you justify, hey, I'm not going to see these students this week because they don't need me right now.
Yep.
These 5 really need me, And you know what? That's okay, because those other 5, you're not leaving them behind, because I'm also a firm believer that small groups are for enriching.
Yep.
So they're going to get what they need, but maybe this isn't their time, and that's okay.
And I think that's part of it, and Wade, you just mentioned it, but anything that we want to defend to our admin, we have to have results to show them.
Yep.
Gotta prove.
If not, then I can fully understand them
Whatever.
questioning. And they have as the leader of your building, they have every right to question. But if I can say, hey, listen, here is my plan, here's the structure, here's the way that I do it, here's the results that I'm getting, here's where kids are growing, they're moving, then I feel like the majority of admin are going to support those decisions.
Yes.
But they have to know that you're getting results, because at the end of the day, if you're not getting results, it's not working.
And I don't
right?
think you should go in an admin office without results and solutions. You should have those two things at all
Yep.
times. And I've
Small groups or beyond,
always.
whatever it is. Yep.
Exactly. And I've always said to admin, just because it's right doesn't mean it's right for this situation. Just because it's right doesn't mean it's right for me, right? So that might be right. It doesn't mean it's right for these students. So it's okay to adapt.
Yep. Okay, so let's go beyond the small groups, and let's talk big picture here. One listener asked, you seem so calm and intentional with everything that you bring to conferences and all of the content that you share with teachers. How do you protect your mindset as a teacher?
Oh, I really love this. So I will say, as a teacher, I'm a big believer in removing myself from spaces that don't serve me. And so I'm not afraid to do that. I've worked in schools where I don't step foot in a teacher's lounge, and I've worked in schools where I'm eating lunch with everybody every single day.
Say that again.
Right? And I'm not afraid to be like, this is not a space for me, and I'm going to remove myself from that situation. And also, I know people say, protect your peace. Well, what does that look like, right? It's actually determining, okay, if this is not something that's going to help me mentally stay in the game, I have to eliminate it. And if I can't eliminate it, if I don't have control over that, I have to take what I do have control over and follow up with that, right? So afterwards, if I just sat through a meeting that really, triggered me or maybe really overwhelmed me, then what am I doing right after that meeting to pull myself down from that? Because if you don't do that, then it's just a spiral, right? And you're going to keep going.
Yep, 100%. And that's, again, I think that's something that I'm also learning as I get older. I'm like looking back on, what would I tell new teacher Hope or first year teacher Hope is also one of the things that you have to be so cautious with protecting your mindset is who you're surrounding. And that's 100%. Why I love what you said about the teacher's lounge. And, most of my schools didn't even have a teacher's lounge. That didn't even exist.
We didn't.
And actually, I'm very grateful for that.
Amen.
But be careful who you are surrounding yourself with.
Yeah.
Because if you notice that their thoughts, negativity is coming off, you are who you surround yourself with. Right?
Boundaries are important.
Then boundaries are important. 100%.
You got to make them known, and allowing those people to come to your room or allow them in.
Yes.
Like, that's not okay to allow them in your space.
And it's okay to send those signals of like,
Correct.
I'm good. I don't need that right now. It doesn't serve me. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one, I want you to think about this for a minute.
Okay.
So when using small groups, did you see like it impact a child? Like, when was the most memorable moment that you can think of?
Because you're obviously so passionate about it, which means that you've had a lot of
it. So
actually, I don't even have to think about this because I know.
Oh, gosh.
Like I have it like in.
Oh, boy.
It is concrete in my brain. So I mentioned I started with
Core
eighth.
memory.
Yes,
Core
core
memory.
memory. I started with 8th grade, moved to 6th grade, and then I moved to 4th grade. And my district moved me to 4th grade because in Ohio, and Ohio teachers will know, there was a huge shift in the state testing, and 4th grade became like a swing year. So it was huge for report card. And my principal just begged me, please, will you? I'm like, I can do that. Like no one else will do it. I'll do it. And I'll never forget because that was the first time I had taught with science of reading strategies in a classroom because in 8th and 6th grade, it just wasn't a thing. It should have been, looking back now. Yep. But 4th grade, I felt more comfortable and confident doing it. And I had a student come to me in 4th grade and she couldn't even write her name in 4th grade. And I had her and I had 2 other students and they had at that point been just pushed through, pass through. And I'm like, this is not, and in my brain, I'm like, this is not okay. This is not okay. I know I can teach these students. And so I started targeted small group instruction with them, where I started implementing Orton Gillingham strategies and a lot of science of reading back strategies. And by the middle of the year, her mom came in for a conference, and I wasn't a mom yet. So now I can relate to this. Full on sobbing because her daughter, I'm not gonna cry thinking about it, but her daughter could read a book to her at night. And it was like, I think that for her mom, she said something to me at that moment. She was like, I thought my daughter is not going to have an opportunity to do anything in life if she can't read. And now we've given her, we've opened the door, and that will forever be, because had I not had that protected small group time with her, had I just taught whole group instruction with that group,
You would have missed it.
I would have missed it. And she would have continued that path. And that's intentional.
I mean,
That's wonderful.
I mean,
that is definitely core memory
yes,
for sure.
core memory.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm just reflecting back, even when I taught 5th grade math, same thing. Like I did small groups. I mean, and it worked, and it doesn't matter how old you are, how big you are. Like it really doesn't. And you can intentionally see those individual kids in that time, even if it's a little bit of time. And it truly does make a difference.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
That's an amazing story.
Oh.
Okay, one final question. What is one thing you wish every teacher would remember this year, at whatever point in the year they're listening to this podcast? What is one thing they need to be reminded of, or that you hope that they remember?
I think the biggest thing is that at some point in your life, you chose this profession for a reason, and that there is not one career, one job. There is no profession out there that's perfect, and there never will be. And so you're going to have your bad days, but if it's not even a matter of remembering your why. It's just remembering that you are here for that reason, and that there are going to be bad days, and it's okay. I think we expect things to be sunshine and rainbows all the time, and that's just not reality, nor is it the reality in any part of the world. And so in that way, I would just want teachers to remember that at some point when you made the decision to do this profession, you found the joy in working with kids.
Yeah.
And that was part of what you love to do. So continue that, and just know that if you're not feeling it right now, it's going to come back.
Right.
And I always told my husband, if I ever get to the point where it's not coming back, get me the heck out of the classroom.
That's right.
So
That's right.
if it doesn't come back, that's when you
Right.
know, right? Yeah. But it's going to come back, and we know that. And so remember that and stick with it, because there are all those joyful moments that just, they bring you back.
And I was telling teachers today, as a matter of fact, because we mentioned we're here on site in California, and one teacher specifically came up to me and she said, I feel like I'm that person that you were talking to about where do I find my joy? And I said, you know what? Plan something once a month in your classroom that you can look forward to.
You.
That you know that is for you, but the kids are going to benefit.
And they love it.
Right?
They see your enthusiasm.
And they love it.
They love
That's
it because
right.
you love it. Yeah.
And that way you have one thing a month to look out. You can't do that every week,
No.
but one time a month. And that way each month, I can't wait for this. I said, I promise you, if you start really prioritizing those things, it will shift your mindset, and you will start seeing the joy in the small moments.
Yes.
And so remember, because it does come back.
It does.
It does. And sometimes it leaves very quickly and comes back very quickly. And sometimes it leaves for a while and it takes a while to come back, but it will come back. And, I think just remember the impact and the opportunity that you have for impact with
Absolutely.
kids. It's just an amazing thing that we get to do, that we're entrusted with these little minds and little hearts every single day. And I don't think any of us take that lightly whatsoever.
No.
So,
and find your people that help you do that. That's the other thing too.
Absolutely,
We have this conversation all the time about finding your people.
100%.
Find the people that, and if there's not someone in your school, the internet can be a beautiful place, right?
It
Find
can.
someone out here. Like there can be there's good and bad about the
Good
internet.
and bad.
But, if you don't have someone in your school to be your person, find someone outside of your bubble to be your person.
Yeah.
Because you need that.
Well, as people have seen in all of your workshops that you've hosted here and across the nation with us, instruction doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just needs to be intentional and thoughtful. And I think that's what you share and demonstrate so well in all of your content and all of your workshops. And so I know the people in California, as well as those that have seen you again in other workshops or at Get Your Teach On, that's what they value so much about you. So thank you for sharing just a little piece of that with us today. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Ask Get Your Teach On Anything featuring Amelia Capotosta. Again, new episodes come out every single Monday. As you notice, we've had a little bit of shift in season 3. These are short, sweet, to the point, to get you to school or to get you home from school, and give you a little inspiration that you need for the week. And we hope to see you next week. Now, Amelia, you know the tradition here. We always end the episode with, we'll catch you on the flip side. So let's give it a go. Here we go. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week for another episode. Until then, we'll catch you on
The flip side.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.